it's a perpetual disaster is what it is. So it's designed to educate the parents so they can educate their children. And you were talking about the grandparents. Just think, and I make the joke, well, you can't remember something after 20 years if you haven't seen it, but what if you're a grandparent? It's longer than that. So,
like
you know,
40.
what do you do?
Yeah.
You buy the book.
I'm telling you, you need to get this book, and I didn't know about that great deal you're talking about.
Oh, yes.
Buy one, get one free. It's like, where are the educators' heads taking on all this social engineering, and kids can't fill out an employment application when it's all said and done? I think that sex education, all that, has no place in the public school system. None. Teach them to read, write, and do arithmetic.
It used to be like that when we were going to school.
Yeah,
I don't know what, I do know what happened actually. And like I said, the void that God gave to the opportunity actually to the public educators and to the system, which was a bad idea, but it made them make the decisions that only God could make. So now they're telling what the kids should learn, and that's why they're failing. I mean, they don't have a clue.
I trace it back to 1963 when they took prayer out of the schools.
Yes.
Now, you are really big into civics, would I say?
Economics, history, mathematics.
But you feel they should really be taught about the responsibility of voting.
Yes.
And I'm not sure that's in our public schools, but also the no-brainer of balancing a checkbook.
That's true, but let's go back to that first one about voting. They are influenced, the teachers are influenced by the unions, okay? And I want to say this, that there are a lot of great teachers out there in public education, and they need to stand up. They need to stand up. Their voices are not being heard. However, when you take God out of it, like I said, you know, they start making up their own rules. So now, then you have situations where they don't know what to do with the kids. Well, the reason the kids are failing is because of the parent involvement at home. The parents need to be involved from the very beginning. So they're never going to turn that around. Without the parents doing their job, the paramount issue of doing their job, doesn't matter how good the teacher is, they're never going to have a successful child go through their system unless you have that at home. So they're never going to turn that around. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
There are some bad teachers, though. I'm not going to give a percentage because I don't think it's very big. I really believe that teachers, for the most part, are called. There's a calling there. They don't make a lot of big money.
Originally.
They love it.
Originally, I think they're there. But then you do get into that. You do get into politics of it. The unions, my last newsletter I received from my union, the state union, they were telling me how to vote in 2008. And of course, you know who they said to vote for president, and some wild things that I would never consider as a Christian, but they were against me there. So this is one of the issues about public education. They are influenced by that. So you have all these young people going through teacher colleges, and those people are being taught by people that were children of the 60s. So now you have the children of the 60s where they think there's no God, there's no rules, there's only gray areas, teaching these young kids who haven't had parents themselves. So now you have role models to role models, and those role models go into the classroom. So there is a big influence politically and religiously there.
And you add to that the broken homes.
Yes.
So many kids in a single-parent family. And one of the greatest travesties of our entire nation is the lack of fathers in the home.
Yes.
And that is really serious, but you don't really hear politicians going after that.
No, they want the votes. So as long as we can provide something of a need of a person, and it's minimal, it's a travesty is what it is, by welfare and those types of things, then they have their vote. So it's an ongoing thing we need to change.
Yep. You know what amazes me about this book? It's just a normal-sized book. It's got so much stuff in it.
Yes.
It's got so much history, and it's brief. It's in sound bites are enough that they could get it and take it from there.
But it's not what you get in school system today.
No, you don't even
today.
get that.
No.
You can get a sound bite.
They don't. Yeah, you should see the social studies books they receive now, and there's a lot of politicking in there. It has nothing to do with our history.
Right. Now, who chooses the books, the curriculum?
It's at the. I know there's a state movement. You have to follow the state curriculum, but it's the local school districts that are choosing their textbooks and what their curriculum should be. So they may not include everything that you think they should, but they're including what they can to fill the year. See, there's a lot of teachers who will tell you, I can't get through the entire book in the year. We have to skip around the book because we just can't cover it all. So, and the books correspond to the curriculum. So it's the state that hands down the curriculum. Should it be adding 2 plus 2 or what year the state was founded? And so the districts buy the books that correspond to the curriculum. So it's at the local level.
And if they have a lot of disciplinary problems, that takes time away from your teaching.
And the reason there are disciplinary problems in the classroom is because they don't have that foundation at home. So it's like I said.
So you keep going back
to the home,
yep,
to God and the home.
And if you just tuned in, I'm talking to the gentleman who wrote this book, Mr. Dan McLaughlin, and I hope you're writing down that website. We've had it up there a while, and we're going to leave it up. Just write it down, because this is a book that could be so very, very beneficial to anybody who has any kind of interaction with children, with their homeschool or with their homework and so forth at school. What should a parent do? And I think parents need to get a little bit more elbow grease in their hallelujahs, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Kid brings home a book that's got things in it that are absolutely wrong.
Yes.
Shouldn't they go make a little noise about that?
They are the most responsible person to do that. You go and you let them know exactly how you feel.
Put the spotlight on it.
Absolutely. Make them feel uncomfortable, because they will feel uncomfortable, or they will try and reverse that and make you feel uncomfortable, like nobody else is complaining. You know, you're the only one. It doesn't make any difference. There's a lot of things that are backwards of the way we should be thinking when we think of God. You know, things that contradict His Word. And they're out there, and we get back to the teacher again. Let's say only 10% of the teachers out there are bad. How do you overcome those bad teachers? So Johnny is going to have 2 or 3 or 4 bad teachers in his K through 12 curriculum or school system. So how do you overcome that? You overcome that with parental involvement using God's Word. So that's how you overcome bad, because you're always going to face that. You're always, as soon as you step out the door, you're going to face it. How do you overcome it? You overcome it with truth. Yep.
Are there actually teachers who are hostile toward parents?
That's an old joke. In my first book, I had the opportunity, and we're still traveling with that, and we've listened to tens of thousands of administrators, teachers, and parents. And it's funny how they look at things. And a lot of the stories are from the parents that, you know, they make them feel ridiculous or silly or ignorant or something like that. So, and of course the teachers are complaining about the parents because they're ignorant or something like that. But little do they know, without the parent support at home, not only with curriculum, but in a well-behaved, godly child, you know, they're not going to be successful. So that's one thing they don't understand as teachers. You have to have that teamwork. The parents are the ones responsible for that. So if you're not catering to those parents and letting them know, you're going to fail as a teacher.
And also, parents, you don't have to be intimidated.
No.
We have just 1 minute left. I again want to point you to the website and to this book. But this book is good also for homeschoolers.
Yes.
And do you address a lot of these? I mean, homeschool is huge today. There's 1.5 million children in homeschools.
Yes, and most of those, I think, are Christian homes. But the book is great for those folks that are on the fence with their faith. That's why I do the 2-for-1. You got to share it with somebody.
I think that's wonderful that you do that.
Absolutely, because it does, you know, it does address the curriculum in the public schools where you could use it every day. And when the folks are on the website and ordering the book, use the promo code BIBLE. And we'll cut $10 off.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Well, I don't think that he could be more generous with this book at all. And hope you can come back sometime.
Yes.
And we'll have a roll-up in a minute. But stay with me. We have a couple things to say before we have to say goodbye.